Chair Verhalen and members of the committee, I'm Jason Langworthy, the Associate Secretary with the Office of the Board of Regents, and joining me is Krista Overby, OBR's Communications and Engagement Manager. This flipped presentation for the June 2025 Governance and Policy Committee meeting will provide an overview of the upcoming accessibility format changes to the board's policy library. As we like to do with all of the presentations for the Governance and Policy Committee, I'll start with grounding this presentation in board policy. Board of Regents Policy, Board Policy Development, Section 5, delegates to the Office of the Board of Regents the authority to create a distinctive format and page design to communicate policy content to the university community. That design is also required to include a history of the policy and note any amendments made since adoption. To implement this delegated authority, OBR has created a suite of policy conventions that define the standard structure, numbering, page design, and the overall policy template. The page design was last updated in 2019 with the goal to provide a more accessible format. As Communications and Engagement Manager Overby will outline, OBR will once again be making changes to the format and page design to ensure that all members of the university community can access and use board policies.
For some background, the United States Justice Department ruled in April of 2024 to make changes to Title II of the Americans with Disabilities Act. The changes require organizations of a certain size to meet the Technical Standards for Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, or WCAG, version 2.1, level AA, by April 24, 2026. The University of Minnesota is included in the need to comply with the accessibility web standards. The Office of the Board of Regents has been in the process of addressing the board's various digital assets to ensure compliance with WCAG 2.1 level AA prior to next April's deadline. Included in this review is the board's policy library, which we will address in this presentation. The board's policy library is currently structured as a web page with a listing of hyperlinked PDF documents that are hosted on the website, one for each of the board's 87 policies. As the board office has learned more about web accessibility standards, we've determined that shifting the content from PDF documents, which can be burdensome to properly tag with accessibility features, to HTML web pages will greatly improve accessibility for the policy library. Once changes go into effect, when visiting the revised policy library, users will experience new HTML web pages rather than linked PDF documents. In making that transition, there are a few formatting changes that will be made to help with screen readers to align with the new WCAG 2.1 level AA standards and that are built into the university's website features. These include revising the format of lettered lists from a parenthesis to a period, removing section header text in all caps and replacing it with case caps, as all caps can be interpreted as shouting by some screen readers, removing italicized definitions for emphasis, consistently formatting spacing and returns for subheaders, and exploring the switch from Roman numerals to Arabic numerals. Overall, these changes will enhance accessibility for screen readers, improve navigation across the board's policies, and will ensure the policy library meets the new current web accessibility standards. Now, Associate Secretary Langworthy will share more on the upcoming changes that will help OBR align across policies.
In addition to the formatting just outlined and given the shift to web pages, we'll also make changes to ensure that all board policies align with our updated format and page design. Currently, there are board policies that use only subdivisions instead of sections, have preamble text that sit outside of the numbering structure, or lack a scope statement. And a scope statement is an introductory statement that flags to the reader what is covered within the policy. For those board policies that are out of alignment, OBR will make the necessary adjustments to bring them into alignment as we shift from PDFs to web pages. If there are changes that could be viewed as altering the substance of the policy or fall outside the format and page design changes, OBR will bring those to the committee for your consideration and action. I'll note that Board of Regents policy faculty tenure has its own unique format and page design that has been developed through the years. No changes to that design will be made beyond ensuring that the text is accessible. Those accessibility adjustments that are needed as we shift from a PDF to a web page for faculty tenure as well will be shared with faculty governance. Thank you for watching this presentation, and we look forward to answering any questions that you might have at the June meeting.